do. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. So, hello, Coach Teresa is on, and we are recording now. And we wanted to say welcome to Freedom Mastery and to our mastermind community. This is looking a little different here on this call because our family is traveling now. So we're never going to know what to expect, where I'm going to be, where I'll call in from, where my Facebook Lives will be from. We're just going and doing it, and it's going to happen. I'm trusting that all the resources and everything we need along the way is going to be provided, just like it was tonight. I was able to connect to our hotspot on my phone. I was able to get in the car, turn the heat on. My kids and family are all in the trailer watching a movie and just having fun, and I'm able to be in here with you, spending some time doing what I love to do, growing and growing with you and helping others along the way. So along the journey, right? It is definitely all a journey. There's never a destination. And that's kind of like when people say, what's our final destination on our trip? It just triggers that in my mindset and in my heart that, you know what, we just don't have one. For a little while, we're planning to hang out in Arizona, and then we don't know. We know long-term where we want to end up. We want to end up retired on an island. And we don't need an RV on an island, really. Probably Hawaii or like Bahamas somewhere. We don't even know. But that's the final destination later, like years and years. But for right now, we're having fun, enjoying the journey. And that is what I just like to inspire in you and what I hope to inspire in you, even from the darkness of my car in, where are we? Dillon, North Carolina tonight. So, let's get into it. So we've been studying this content and this material. The book is The Science of Being Great by Wallace, Wattles. And another resource that I use almost on a daily basis is How Is That Working by Robert Hollis. Both books are available on Amazon if you want them. Most of you know the free PDF to Robert's book is in the files, and the audios to The Science of Being Great is in the files. So you can access all that whenever you feel like it and whenever you have time. I like to listen to stuff like this when I'm in the shower, when I'm washing dishes, sometimes during it with my headphones while we're driving. When I need some quiet time in the car, we'll put the kids with headphones in a movie. I'll put some headphones, and then Jason will jam out with his whatever. But we're finding ways to feed our own unique kind of the things we need that grow us, that inspire us, that encourage us. My husband doesn't meditate, so doesn't want to hear my, meditations, while he's trying to drive. I don't want to put him to sleep or something. So we find a way to do it and just make it happen. So I have my notes on my phone, so you'll see me looking down probably, but let me find where they are. Okay, so awaken to your greatness, and this is week 7, and awaken to your greatness, right? Not my greatness, not Coach Teresa's greatness, not Coach Barbara's greatness, your greatness. Each person has our own unique individual greatness that is nothing like anybody else's. Super unique, the way it feels to people, the way you look, the way you sound, the way you smell to people. It's all just so unique to you and who you are. One of my children told me the other day, I love the way you smell, Mommy. And it kind of made me think, well, what do I smell like? Because I don't really wear perfume. I'm not a fan of chemical fragrances and all of that stuff. I use essential oils. You guys all know probably, and all use too. That's pretty much my perfume, but it's always something different. There's never really a specific one. So I don't know what she meant, but apparently I have a smell that she likes when she snuggles, and when we're around, she just likes the way I smell. So I relate that to when we're around people, when we're around, when people are around us, what do we smell like to others? What are we like? What are we feeling like? What are we being like to others? And our goal as leaders, as mothers of children, any mom or any parent, any teacher, any leader in a community, is a leader in life in general. And it matters that your point of view of not only yourself, that you have a high point of view and standard of yourself, but that you also see that the highest in others as well. Because you know, the average person doesn't see the greatest in others. The average person will see the faults in others. And I'm the first one to say I'm human, and I do it daily. Even on this road trip here, right here, you know, next to my husband, we're all human. And it's not like we're ever going to get rid of that. It's that we're going to make sure that our daily habits are so powerful and positive toward what's great and what's good in others and in ourselves, that the human traits and you know, stuff can just fall, can keep just falling by as they come to us. You know, we can keep going, keep moving forward. So a few things today. One announcement I wanted to make is today, well, this really close here around the season I'm in, is my 1-year anniversary with mentorship and coaching with Robert Wallace and Melody Riva. It's been a year, and I'm super just grateful for them, because I've purchased things from them, right? But through time, there's been times where I'm not purchasing things through them, right? That they're not money hungry or motivated. They really are here to help us grow. There's times I reach out to them where, you know, they're not making any monetary value from me, but they help me out of the kindness of their heart, guide in the direction, whether it's in my marriage, whether it's in my motherhood, whether it's in my business and my multiple streams of income. They're very open to just being a guide in any area that they are excelling in. So I just always want to remind you, never hesitate to reach out to Robert Wallace or Melody Riva, because that's what they're there for. And as my personal mentors, they are also there for you guys. Especially, you know, if you're within MDC and the company and our vision team, of course. So first of all, one of the big recaps for this whole book is that we are a world becoming. We are not a wrecked and decrepit and, you know, messed up place or person. We are becoming more every day and growing, and we can't help it. A lot of times we don't realize even the areas that we're growing in. And often we'll be focusing on one area, but we're actually growing somewhere else. So we want to make sure that we're open to all areas of growth, that not only us, but that the world can grow in all areas, politics, society, any area that you're looking at where people have different perspectives. To have that broader perspective, even above the other opinions and, you know, what people put as their priority, you know, which, you know, if you're going on Facebook profiles or if you're talking to somebody and politics is a priority, you'll know it. You'll know it's a priority to people, right? We know it's a priority to people by what their life looks like, by what we do, by the things we do, the way we talk. You know, it shows where we're putting our energy. If someone's negative and someone's not, you know, in a spirit of service and helping others, they're not working their energy well. It's not being worked to the good anyway, or to, you know, what could build up, right? Not necessarily good or bad, but what could be a building up. But then that's also a perception too, right? To us, that we might perceive that to be, but we don't know what's going on in the background. With this trip, one of the big things I've learned here is, you know, as much as we want to plan and prepare and have everything ready and right and secure, we want to be comfortable, we want to know what's coming. It doesn't happen that way. You know, even when we think we know what's coming, anytime we're on an adventure, anytime it's something new, or even not new, maybe we're on a journey. Every day is a new piece of our journey, that we can see a new miracle or a new, you know, have a new experience, live something new and unique that day, to make a memory with someone, maybe just to give somebody else a memory, you know, maybe not even necessarily ourselves, but to just be interested in what other might help somebody else, is just a huge perception and just piece of our being that sets us apart and that makes us great. Not above, but above others as far as being on the lookout for others, right? Instead of for ourselves and having selfish motives and reasons. So the quote that I wrote here was, "We must remember that this is not a bad world, but a good world in the process of becoming. So if we think of everything that could come to us, what could we find good about this, is what I ask myself. Everything fills its purpose in its time. I know there's biblical scripture that supports this too, and that's what this book actually, what Wallace really was getting the point to saying, is that, everything is good in its time. Back in the day, before all technology existed, all that existed then was good during that time. But as we progress, and as society progresses, as humans progress, we need more to live with and by and in. So naturally, things progress. Technology progresses. We progress. Tools, resources, books, right? More books, more things come to us that we need to progress. And that's a beautiful thing to realize that we are becoming no matter what. We're progressing and becoming no matter what. There's no helping it. We're no different than the baby that was born, my friend's baby. I have a friend that had her baby yesterday. She's actually a coach in Freedom Mastery as well, Chris Wood. Had her baby yesterday. She went all the way to 40 weeks. The girl is ready, right? And you couldn't predict exactly when she was going to have the baby, but she knew it was coming. She could feel it. Everybody knew what was going on. Well, what a celebration. She had a baby yesterday. So I wanted to congratulate her as well. And then realize too, that just as she was born and there's no stopping her growing. She wants to nurse. She's going to nurse and feed. When we have the urge to feed ourselves and to feed a hunger, whatever it is, whether it's in mind, body, or spirit, work towards finding a resource and a tool or a person that can help us to feed that goal. So valuable and important to just immediately move forward when we're inspired. Because I find if I start to put it off, and if I start to make just my to-do list, it just keeps getting put off. So anytime I'm inspired to research something, especially to learn something new, my kids often are the ones that are helping me do this right now. They'll ask me to do something where typically I'd be like, no, that's either, it's either inconvenient or it's messy or whatever the excuse could be. I'm working on saying yes instead, and we covered this last week, maybe week before. But that also helps me then to learn something new and to experience something new in this trip, right? Getting into anything, new territory, any territory that we've not experienced before, again, is going to help us learn and grow. And it's just a beautiful part of becoming all that God intends us to be, which is way more than what we know we are. Even though we might know we're amazing and how awesome and how, God fills us in our heart and our spirit, and with that same spirit within us, there's literally nothing we can't do. Nothing. At all. Physically, financially, emotionally, mentally. I think that even the worst of pain, there is a way to overcome it or to find a way around it. It might not be, the way we expect, might not be around it. In fact, it might be through the pain or through the experience, through the journey, that we get the answer, versus a solution, and that's where a lot of people, when they come into a product, or service, even, that they want to work for them, but time goes by and it's not working for whatever reason. Maybe they're not putting in the action, but maybe they're not inspired to put in the action, right? Maybe we're not inspired to do whatever it is that might be on our to-do list that day, right? Like maybe it's something on Facebook or whatever it is. That could be a sign that we are meant to be doing something else. So follow the inner guidance. That's the biggest piece. If you were to bring this all down to the most simplest of statements, follow your inner guidance. And because that is God within. That is that greatness within us. And it's just really, if we break it down, can be so, so simple. Every moment of the day, any stress, like literally any amount of anxiety or pain or confusion, or even if it's just curiosity, interest in something that we want, is already there. God's already got it there for us. Just wanting it is proof that we're meant to learn it or to know it or to have it, right? So always be open to ways that God could be speaking, but know that you might not need anything in the process. I was commenting and I was talking to somebody on a Facebook thread today, and it was a pain post. And I don't do a lot of this anymore because of the fact that I've learned from my mentors that there are, people that are okay where they are. The pain is not bad enough to change. There was a story in Robert's book of this dog that was howling and howling. And Teresa, have you heard this story? The dog was howling, and somebody comes up and is like, why is the dog making all this noise? And why doesn't he get, why don't you help him out? And he's like, oh, he's laying on a bed of nails. And he's like, what? Why would the dog be laying on a bed of nails? Why doesn't he move? And the dog's owner says, well, because he doesn't hurt bad enough yet. It's just uncomfortable. So he's just moaning right now. So that's just, I've just learned to spend my time with those that are wanting more and that are wanting a next level or something. It might not even be anything I have to give, but I know that I'm put here to connect people, to be a divine guide, to connect resources and tools. And, that's all we are as human beings is to, help the divine guidance that is in this world, that is within us, work to what is the greatest for us each day, right? To what the greatest thing is. So, make sure in your own life too, and in your own day-to-day communicating, especially with people that you work with, people that you are helping to inspire and grow, that they're not laying on a bed of nails, not getting up and moving, because we could doctor them, right? Or we could do stuff to them all day, but if they're still laying on the nails, they're not going anywhere. So anyways, I was commenting on a thread, and it was about resources and tools and therapies. And everyone was like, what is your best therapy? Dry needling, massage, acupuncture. They were going through all this. And at the end of the post, I was just like, when it comes down to it, the best therapy I've ever had was meditation. It doesn't include anybody, anything. You don't have to spend any money doing it. And if you do it long enough, it can absolutely affect you physically. You can lower pain. You can, oh, my light turned off. My light turned off. Uh-oh, hold on, guys. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, new setup here, so we're getting how this works. So, okay, apparently to save battery, the car will turn off. Quit recording. Okay, I see that. So anyways, meditation was what I offered. And, that's something that anybody can do anywhere at any time. It's something that we can also recommend to people as a gift to them, even a YouTube link, the God Memorandum is a gift, meditation gift I give a lot of times. But if I go to their profile and they're not someone that looks like the God Memorandum is probably gonna necessarily touch them or really, be something they might need at that time in their life, I will go to YouTube and find a meditation that resonates with something on their page, whatever it is on their page, and share that with them instead as my gift to them. But meditations are great gifts to share because you're not asking anybody to do anything. It has nothing to do with, it's beyond the physical. And I like that. And real quick too, whether they resonate with it or not, and then just move on and share Robert's book. That's obviously one of the first gifts I give as well. But okay, what's next? Let's see. So God works in us, and we are the reason it is a desire, and that I'm so grateful to see you here, and that I'm putting myself here and putting the time in to study this material and this content, is because the reason we want to be great, God is expressing himself through us. We are his voices here. And now there's a lot of different views on this, depending on whether you're a Bible believer or whether, what you believe as far as when it comes to this. But there's no denying the fact that we were created by something bigger and greater than us. And whatever we call it, I'm agreeing to disagree and to allow that to be a personal choice. For what we call that greatness and that inner spirit, that inner guidance within us. Because I like to resonate with, I actually do feel it's my purpose to resonate with everyone when it comes to spirituality. And I found religion and church separated me from resonating with everyone. My husband's not the biggest fan of this choice, but this was a choice that I made on the urgency of the spirit within me. I mean, God moved me to move to this, you know, and this is for right now, you know, I don't know if this is how I'm going to believe forever, but I know God has me with this heart right now, a spirit of oneness and connecting religions. Now I know I see where religion is valuable and where there are people that, you know, where it's of value to people. But for me personally, to connect with more people, I believe is probably the reason God's put this in my heart. I don't know for sure. Maybe even for openness with children, you know, to allow them to have their own spiritual path. Now that I have my own children, I realize it's silly to think that they're going to do the same spiritual things I did. And I always thought that that was going to be the case. And now I see that that's not the case. They're a different soul and spiritual being, total separate from me, even though they have my DNA. We share DNA, we share, you know, so much. When it comes to the spiritual realm, and this is just my personal belief, it's not connected, or there might be some areas of connection, but they are their own unique being, and I've got to allow them to have the freedom to be that, whatever it is, whether I'm doing that, whether my husband's doing that. Now, whether my husband believes that way, I can't say that. So, you know, we're learning how to have our own spiritual views under the same roof. It's a huge thing that we didn't see coming. When we got married, we had the same spiritual beliefs. Things changed along the way. So we're learning as we go, and we think that it's intended. We think there's a purpose behind it. We don't know what it is yet, but we're just going to learn and go as we go. So the kingdom of heaven can be on earth now. And that's kind of what I want to finalize this call with right now, or at least just my part here, is that to imagine in your mind and to visualize, to do a visualization on a regular basis for at least a period of time, maybe 7 to 10 days, of imagining no more crying, no more pain, when things that do not matter are no longer here anymore. Issues, financial matters, whatever it is that's the pain point for you, that it does not exist anymore, that there is no more night, and that there is only day and bright white light shining on you and shining on us and shining on humanity and on every person that you meet and talk to. So before you even begin speaking to someone, I challenge you, and this is my own challenge to myself as well, to look in the eyes and to attempt to see a soul before a physical human being. This is very powerful, because you'll start to notice powerful things about people that you only will see if you're looking beyond the physical. And most people do not see these things. And it doesn't matter what people look like, doesn't matter what clothes they're wearing. You're going to start to realize powerful, powerful insights of people's souls, literally by just looking into their eyes. You'll start to notice and ask for discernment. Ask God to guide you as you're speaking to people. You know, and whatever it is your purpose for that day, right? We don't even really know what our purpose is. I think that we can have a plan and a goal, and we can have our map, whether we call it the Bible or whether we call it whatever we call our map or in our life that we have, even if it's a one we don't create it ourselves, but being flexible and knowing that God's got his way, you know, ultimately, in my opinion, is the greatest way. And that's my hope and my desire every day, is that I would have the greatest viewpoint of all, and that viewpoint would be God's viewpoint, that I would see people as he sees them, that when I look into the eyes of these souls, that I would just, and even if they're not looking in their eyes, as you're typing to them, speaking to them, you can ask the same things. Allow me to see into this person's soul. Allow me to see into their heart as you're communicating with them, even if you're not in front of them. Oh, the spiritual world and realm is so powerful that it's beyond, right? It's beyond physical. So you don't have to be in front of somebody to do this, for this to work. It's a practice. It's like a meditation. It's a practice, and it takes getting comfortable with and getting used to. You'll notice a lot of people don't want to look you in the eye. You won't make eye contact with a whole lot of people. The ones that you will make eye contact with, though, you'll realize, God will start to speak to you things about people in general, and you'll start to see things because God is expressing himself. through us and through people. So as he's expressing himself, like sometimes I sense pain, sometimes I will get a sense of pain, or I'll feel pain. It's the emotions. You can absolutely feel emotions. I believe others' emotions. I don't know, what the facts are on this, but there are proof that when you're around people for a long period of time, you know how women's cycles start to connect. Similar, that happens also within our emotions and other areas that you just don't see physically, right? That aren't noticeable, but powerful. So we want to be a demonstration of what the kingdom of heaven is on earth. Just living our life. It's literally that simple. Being that demonstration of what the kingdom of heaven is to us, is the most powerful thing we can do above any to-do list. Is that to-be list, to be the kingdom of heaven to whoever is around you, and whatever that is to you. The kingdom of heaven, it's going to be different for everyone, and that is it. And so what I'm asking you guys to do this week, there is a in this chapter called a mental exercise, and there is an audio in the file, so you can just forward the audio kind of to the about 3/4 of the way, and you're looking for chapter. I don't have them numbered, but it's called a mental exercise. I'll look at what the number. Oh goodness! I'll look at what the number is on the YouTube audio, and I'll put it in there. That way it's easy to just click where it is. But it's what it's called is there are 4 or 5 things you're going to read, little small paragraphs. One is called the viewpoint. One is called a consecration. That is so powerful. The first sentence of the consecration is, I will obey my soul and be true to that within me which is highest. Just super powerful statements that get deeper and deeper the more you read or listen to them. And then the next one's an identification statement, and then an idealization. So what the ideal is for you, and then your realization, what you appropriate yourself to. And this gives literally, this is like the perfect formula for being the greatest we could ever be. And we do still have enough, so that's what you're going to do this week. Read that, listen to that. I just listened to it. I listened to the audio. Even though I have the book, I listen to the audio more than I read the book, probably. So we do have one more call, and I've decided to just make it the week after Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is next week on Thursday, and it just doesn't work out as a family holiday. I'm just not even going to worry about that. So we're just going to move it to the next Thursday. So we have one more, and then that'll be the summary, and that's it. It'll be the summary. So, and I've already got the notes here in my book highlighted, but there's still a lot coming to me. So much comes to me as we started traveling. I just cannot even tell you all of the inspiration God has just been giving me along all of these, like every learning experience, every little hiccup. I learned something new, and I've been really making it a point to either write it down or journal it for later to share with you, or to post on Facebook right away, or to do a live. I'll be doing more kind of raw and real lives versus behind the desk now. But that's where we're at, and that's what we're living. So that's what I'm going to show, right? That's what this is all about, just showing what we're living. This is great to me. Other people might not see this as so great, but this is greatness to me. This is the dream come true to me. And that's what God's put in my spirit to do, is to live out loud and show others that whatever it is you want is possible to achieve. And that along the way, there's no like perfection along the way. That's totally going to be my next live is, there's struggle, there's pain, there's tears along the journey. But with a drive and a destination in mind, it keeps us moving forward. And that's just the most beautiful thing, to just keep moving forward in this beautiful life that God has given us. if you have been here live, thank you. Questions, just unmute yourself and let's chat. If you are watching the replay, thank you so much. And anyone can connect with me directly through email, Rita at bitsybaby.com, BITSYBABY.com. And I check those. I attempt to get back to those within 24 hours. I'm definitely getting used to working while traveling. Yeah. So, hey, Coach Teresa, how are you?
Wonderful.
Good.
So excited for y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't think of any questions that I have, but I'll find what I'm supposed to do for next week. And you guys have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. Yes.
Oh, we will.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yep. You know, I want to give you congratulations before I stop the recording, actually. Yes, we have to get this recorded.
Oh.
So, yes, Coach Teresa is actually in our same network marketing company, and she has reached a milestone in her business, and she woke up today to being binary qualified. So I just wanted to say congratulations, because we all know anybody that's joining in on these calls, no matter what company you're in, most everyone in our group is in some kind of stream of online income, and you know that there's different levels of milestones, and that means more freedom, more choices, more money, more to give. So beautiful. And Teresa is a giver, so we know that. So I'm so grateful that you have more resources now. So congratulations on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Well, and while we're on here, I just want to tell you thank you. I know we talked about it a little bit ago, but I want everybody else to know that thanks to this wonderful lady, and working with her over the last several months, and especially during this class, it brought me out of my shell enough that I was actually able to go in a room in front of 12 ladies and actually talk about what my family had been through with my son's migraines, and talk a little bit about the product. And I'm not a sales type person. All I did was tell them our story. But honestly, 2 months ago, I couldn't have done that. So I cannot thank you enough, Rita, for reaching out to me and bringing me into your family. And so I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. That inspires and motivates me to keep going and keep doing what I'm doing. Keep it up. And the biggest thing that came to me, when you said that, was that how powerful sharing our story is. And every time we have that courage and that power to share a story, how it gives others that power. We don't keep it for us, right? We give it away and share it so that others then find their freedom. And it's just so beautiful to see you doing that. I love it. I just want to clap across the world.
And I did it without crying. That was amazing. I did not cry.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? That, to me, that is healing and hope. When hope can overcome hurt, is when emotions, you can overcome your emotion or emotional reactions, right? The response. I've noticed that in several ways in my own life. So that's so beautiful.
But thank you very, very much.
Thank you for sharing that. I so appreciate you. And I'm just grateful and blessed to have you here. You really are a go-giver and a go-getter. You know when you're ready to do something, and you step forward and do it. That's beautiful, because the world needs that example. The world needs examples of moving forward. Despite the challenges, despite the pain. And bless your heart.
I tiptoed. I didn't. I took baby steps, and some of it I just tiptoed. But every day it was at least something. So it comes.
Yes, and that's the 1% better, and that's the what
Mm-hmm.
Robert and Melody recommend all the time. You know, each day that 1% better, and at the end of the day, celebrating the wins and the accomplishments and advancements and the wins, right? Because there's always wins. There
Yeah.
are, and
Yeah.
sometimes bigger, right? Like the binary qualified that was pretty big. But that's and that it's seasonal. I feel like too. You know, it's
Yeah.
like the seasons of life, the seasons of the world too. You know, there's seasons change, and to be ready for when winter's coming, you know,
Mm-hmm.
is good. And you're putting in the work, and it's amazing. There's going to be a day, and you know, you're not far, and that's what's so beautiful. And that's what Robert, you know, that's why they recommend these streams of income, because if
Mm-hmm.
they compound, and eventually you have freedom to to not work if you don't feel like working, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because you have your team that are motivated, that are just like you, doing, you know, right, what
Yeah.
you would be doing by yourself had you only be building you know, customer base, consumer base
Mm-hmm.
versus team base. So beautiful. You're setting an example, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, love you so much. So, all right, we will say goodbye for the night, and yes, I guess for Thanksgiving. But look, we're still going to be on Facebook,
Oh yeah.
so join us there. Yes, we'll still connect there, and I'll keep in touch and support. And I love you so much, Coach Teresa, and I love
Love
you
you
all
too.
so much. And we will talk again
Bye.
soon. Bye.